You know what, Chad? I'm good to just keep going. I'm good to keep going, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I want to see what this team can do and what this team is going to be capable of here for our second season. I think this is going to be a good time. So that is what we're going to do here. It's been a while since we've had a pretty much all franchise night, but I think now's a good night for it. Especially, again, like you talk about what this team looks like. Naslin, Falloon on the first line. Kozlov and Whitney are here. Again, we're still going to suck. We're still going to suck. Monk, that's fair. But Chris Pronger's debut season, I'm excited for this team. I am. Urbe and Tugnut in goal. Now, you watch this team that is better than last year's team in some ways will be significantly worse. Please, God, Brian Ralston, don't lose those abilities because you're right where you're supposed to be. Please. The only other thing to check is captaincy. I don't think I want to name who our actual captain is yet, you know? I think we wait. I think we know there's a very good chance that it's Chris Pronger. But I think we wait. We get guys like Ozelinch who are deserving. Darren McCarty might be worthy of a letter. So right now, I think we just hand like Rick Vive, Tim Taylor, and Link Gates. Captaincy, alternate captaincy of the team. I don't think it's time to name an official captain of this era of the Sharks yet. What it is time to do, though, is to look at the 1993-94 draft class. Pronger can play a year before he gets the A. Because Daniel Alfredsson. Of course, the Sens fan has Alfie as the top prospect. There is a generated Hungarian named John Cheng. But we also have Patrick Eliash, Ryan Smith, a generated Swede, Per Brunstrom, Jeff O'Neill, Chris Drury, Jeff Friesen, Steve Sullivan, Matthias Oland, Sven Eriksson's generated, Ed Jovo Kopp Jovanovski, Radek Bonk, Oleg Tverdovsky, Richard Zednik, Freddie Modine, Lubo Vishnovsky, Sheldon Surrey, Kim Janssen, Thomas Holmstrom, Sergei Berezin. Oh, that's unfortunate. R.I.P. to Sergei Berezin. Steven Reinprecht, Evgeny Nabokov, first round projection. Nick Coop, generated. Darren Quint, Rhett Warner, Richard Park, Curtis Brown, Matthew Dandino, Nils Ekman Bates, winner of the Amazing Race Battaglia. Dave Scatcherd, Jeff Halpern, Ethan Morrow. This will be a fun draft. It's not quite a Pronger, but this close. There is close. Wait until a goalie named Hubbard shows up. Oh, it's going to be fun. All right. So we know what we have to look forward to this season. All about progress. All about progress this year for the young San Jose Sharks. Quick, who is McDavid's CHL team? The Erie Otters. Let's see what our ratings are for this year. Oh my God, Chris Pronger. He's huge. 80, 81, 82. So our offense is worse, but our defense, unsurprisingly, is better. And again, if we were to rock with the playoff games, the jerseys that you just saw, weird of a glitches that is, these are the ones that we would be wearing. Obviously, this was their second generation of uniforms, but we can actually take a look, by the way, at the rest of the league. Although there wasn't too much that changed, but there's only 24 teams. So the Winnipeg Jets, aka the Arizona Coyotes, they picked up Dave Poulin from Boston. Teemu Solani is now a 92 at 23 years old. Jesus Christ. They picked up Dean Evison Of course, Kachuk is there. Thomas Steen. Phil Housley. Freddie Olofsson. Oh, my God, that defense. Whew. Teppo Numanen. Boris Mironov. Goaltenders Bob Essenza. And Jim Rivnak. Evans, King, and Baller to scratches. The Boston Bruins, the defending cup champs. Juno Oates and Neely leading the way. Smolinski got better. Glenn Murray's made the team. Steve Hines. Ted Donato. Defense, 94 overall. Raymond Bourque. On Sweeney still there. And finally, they're playing Ray Bourque on the top pair. Thank God. Goaltender is still Andy Moog. They also signed Clint Malarchuk. Avery does a scratch. Buffalo still has Howard, Chuck, LaFontaine, McGillney. Audette's there as well. But Jesus, that top line is ungodly. They only have it guaranteed for one more year. Defense, top defenseman Doug Bodger. Neil Wilkinson, who we just traded to them. They could really use him. So, goaltender Hasek now an 84. They got Graham Fuhrer still. Brad May, Keith Carney, scratches. Calgary running with Gary Roberts, Joe Nieuwendyk, Theo Fleury, Robert Reichel, Sergei Makarov. Whew. What a team. Defense, Gary Suter, Al McInnes. Drops off a little bit from there, but with a top pairing like that, what else do you need? Good Lord. Goaltender, Mike Vernon and Jeff Reese. So Mike Vernon, I don't remember if he had a gold or not. He definitely lost an ability. I think he had a gold. The Hartford Whalers, a.k.a. Carolina Hurricanes. Jeff Sanderson, Andrew Castles, Pat Verbeek, Michael Nylander's there. Hakanlub, Petrovitsky. Not a bad team for the Whalers. Defense, top defender, Zarli Zalapski. That right side, though, is pretty weak. That right side's pretty weak. Love to see Goon Squad in this era of the NHL. We certainly could. Sean Burke is the starter in Hartford with a healthy Nick Kyprios as a scratch. Chicago, Michel Goulet, Jeremy Roenick, Steve Larmer, Brent Sutter. They're the ones that picked up German Titov as well. Okay. Defense, Steve Smith, Chris Chelio still looking good. Got Brian Marchment there as well. Goaltenders, Ed Belfour. It's their main man. 84 overall, scratch. Corey Millen. Yikes. Then again, you're not wasting cap space, so who cares? The Quebec Nordiques, Matt Sundin, Joe Sakic, Owen Nolan, Scott Young, Mike Arici, Valerie Kamensky. Good Lord. Andre Kovalenko, and they signed John Druce. Poor Rob Goudreau. Went from being on our second line last year to being a fourth liner in Colorado. But it's because that team is fucking stacked. Barazan was with us last year, too. That's nuts, man. That's a hell of a team. Defense, Jesus. Steve Duchesne, Adam Foote. Of course, we traded them Doug Wilson last year. That's nuts. I mean, they got to be the cup favorites, right? They're up there at least. Stefan Fisette and Ron Hextall as their goalie tandem. Landon Finn and Huffman as the scratches. The North Stars, Ulf Dahlin, Mike Modano, Russ Courtnall, Broughton, and Dave Gagne. Falls off a little bit towards the end, but, I mean, freaking 23-year-old Mike Modano. I mean, come on. Defense is Darian Hatcher, Uwe Krupp. A couple other notable names, but they don't have, like, that gem of a defenseman. In this reality, the Nords don't trade Matt Sundin, indeed. Pre-Watt trade, yeah, the Watt trade didn't happen until, what, 95? So. Goaltender, John Casey. Scratches. Nobody, like, overly notable. No disrespect to them. The Detroit Red Wings, Sergei Fedorov, Steve Yzerman, and Dino Ciccarelli. Got Bobby Smith, Ray Shepard, Igor Larionov, Keith Primo with abilities. Good Christ. That center depth is insane. Defense, Nick Lidstrom, Vladimir Konstantinov, Paul Coffey, Steve Chason, and had we not made a trade, they would have Chris Pronger on this defense as well. That is absurd. Goalies, Tim Cheveldae and Chris Osgood. So Aussie's ready to roll. They are scary as hell. Dude, they have Mike Sillinger and Bob Probert scratched. Holy hell. Red Wings are scary. The Edmonton Oilers, big draft pick for them, and Jason Arnott, playing alongside Doug Waite and Craig McTavish. They do have Shane Corson, Kelly Buchberger, but again, they are still rebuilding from the Gretzky-Messier eras. Again, we are currently in 93-94. So Marty Jelena there as well. Defense, Dave Manson falls off a bit from there. They do have Luke Richardson, but yeah, Dave Manson's the big one for them. Goaltenders, Billy Ranford and our former goalie, Brian Hayward. Ryan Glynn. Kirk Maltby is a healthy scratch. The Los Angeles Kings. Robitaille, Gretzky, Curry, Carson, Sandstrom. They lost in 7 to the Boston Bruins in last year's Cup Final. A Cup Final in IRL that they lost to Montreal. Defense is Daryl Sador and Rob Blake, Charlie Huddy, Marley McSorley, Craig Ludwig, and Doug Lidster. God damn, what a team. Goalie is Kelly Rudy, again with Rob Stauber. That might be the one thing that holds them up. Alexei Zhitnik is scratched. That is not cool. Dude, the West is going to be incredibly difficult for us to overcome. Like, even if we do eventually get a good team, it might not matter unless some players go elsewhere. Montreal, Kirk Muller, Vinny Damphousse, Mike Keane, Brian Bellows, Denis Savard, Peter Stastny, John LeClaire, Guy Carbonneau, Kissio's there as well. It's not as if the East is any easier with Montreal, Boston, Pittsburgh. Oh my God. Defense, Matthew Schneider, Eric Desjardins, Jeff Norton, and Patrice Brisebois, Odeline, and Sean Hill. Goaltender, Patrick Waugh. 28-year-old Patrick Waugh. When's your deal up? Oh my God, he's still there for at least another 3 years. And yes, the Avalanche are technically in the East because they're Quebec. Hopefully, Snipe, I'm sure you've tried to find a workaround about the whole created teams and sometimes, like, unsigned dudes disappearing, apparently. Or they could just fix that issue. New Jersey. Holy shit. Even New Jersey, man. This is crazy. Bobby Holik at 22. Bernie Nichols, Claude Lemieux, Stephane Richer, John McLean, Bill Guerin on the 4th line. I mentioned it to EA. Hopefully, fair. At least they know. Defensively, Scott Stevens and Scott Niedermayer, Bruce Driver, Slava Fetisov, Ken Danico. Goaltender, he's arrived. Rookie Martin Brodeur has taken over for Chris Terreri. Brodeur makes it as the Devils starter in Season 2. Damn. The New York Islanders, Derek King, Pierre Turgeon, Steve Thomas, Patrick Flatley, Ray Ferraro, Benoit Hogue, Rob Niedermeyer, Travis Green, Marty McInnes. What a third line. Claude Lasselle. Defense, Kasperitis, Tom Curvers, Malakoff there. It drops off a little bit, but who's their goalie? John Van Beesbrook comes over from the Rangers. Switches sides. Of course, there was no Florida Panthers for him to go to. And Johnny Ogrodnik is the major scratch. The Rangers. Adam Graves, Mark Messier, Mike Gartner, Alex Kovalev, Eddie O, and Darren Turcotte. Esa Tikkanen, Tony Amani's there. Jesus Christ. These teams are so stacked. Brian Leach, Sergei Zubov, James Patrick. Oh my God. No cap and only 24 teams. Good Lord, man. The caliber of some of these teams. And then goalie-wise, Mike Richter and Craig Billington. So Richter is the guy for New York. The Ottawa Senators, what do they look like after one season? Mishki, what's going on, by the way? Hope you've been well. Sylvain Turgeon, Alexei Yashin has made the team and is immediately their top-line center. Bob Kodlewski is there as well. We got Steve Ruchin. They have a better team on paper right now. I still think we're better suited long-term compared to them, although it is great for them to have gotten Yashin. But we have a Naslin to offset him. Defense, Norm McIver, Gord Murphy, he signed there. Yeah, they definitely have a better team now, but I think we're better suited long-term. And then goalie-wise, Guy Ibert goes to Ottawa. Pretty good fit for him. Again, this is the team. How dare you scratch father of a legend, Darren Rumble. This was the team that we could have taken over, but chat voted for the Sharks. The Philadelphia Flyers still have that ungodly top line of Lindros, Brindamore, and Recchi. They have Kevin Dineen as well. We'll see if they are as bad this year as they were last year, where they were terrible. Defense, Gary Galley, Rick Natras, Dmitry Yaskevich. Their defense falls off a bit. Goaltender is still Tommy Soderstrom and Dominic Roussel, which isn't great. So they could be bad again. The Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, my God. Kevin Stevens, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Rick Tocchet, Ron Francis, Sean McEachern, Johan Garpenlov, who we traded to them last year, is on a third line with Joe Mullen. Martin Straka's on the fourth line. Jesus Christ. Defense, Ulf Samuelsson. Flip him off real quick. And Larry Murphy. It's not bad from there. Goaltender, Tom Barrasso, Ken Reggett, who won the Vezina last year as a backup. Jim Pake as a scratch. Peter Tagliani. The St. Louis Blues, still a really good top line. Brendan Shanahan, Craig Janney, and Brett Hull. Pretty good quality team, just a lack of abilities. Defense, Mark Howe and Jeff Brown. Garth Butcher with truculence, which is perfect for that surname. And their goaltender, Cujo, Curtis Joseph, rocking an 89. He's one of the best in the league right now. 83 overall, Brett Hedican, a scratch. Damn. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Brian Bradley, John Tucker, Chris Gratton, Adam Crichton, Rob Zaminer, Rob DeMaio. I mean, they're not bad. They're in a pretty similar situation to us. They're better now, though. Defense, Roman Hammerlick, Sean Chambers, Bob Beers, Joe Ricci. Not terrible for Tampa. Goalies, that's the equalizer. Pat Jablonski and Wendell Young. Probably the weakest tandem in the league, even we have a better tandem than that. Mark Bergevin is a healthy scratch. To demonstrate his anger, he's going to rip 6 phone books in half at the same time. The Toronto Maple Leafs, Dave Andrechuk, Doug Gilmour, Glenn Anderson, Wendell Clark, John Cullen. Again, they were also absolutely terrible last year. We'll see if they're any better. Coaches Ron Wilson, Joe Sacco. Defense, Dave Ellett, Mironov there, Gary Volk. Okay. Goaltending, Darren Pupa and Felix Potvin. That's the equalizer for them, is the cat in goal. And they also have Todd Gill, who is currently injured. The Vancouver Canucks. The year they went to the final, obviously the roster's different, but Greg Adams, Cliff Ronning, Pavel Bure, Pelle Eklund, Trevor Linden, Jeff Courtnall, Murray Craven, Peter Nedved, Scott Mellenby. Dude, the competition level in this timeline is ridiculous. Defense, Jyrki Lume, Gerald Didick, Gary Slager, Dave Babich. Whew, how long did Potvin play until? Like what? At least 2006, because he was on the Bruins around like 03, 04. Goalie, Kirk McLean for the Canucks. Shalinski's a scratch. Last but not least, the Washington Capitals. Mike Ridley, Dale Hunter, Peter Bondra, Dmitry Kristich, Michael Pavonka. Keith Jones on that team, too. Steve Konowalchuk. Defense, Ally Afraidy, Kevin Hatcher. That's nuts. Callie Johansson. And then goalie-wise, Don Beaupre. And look who's made the NHL. Ole the goalie. Olaf Kolzig has made the NHL this year. So that is the reality around the league. Still very, very scary for us. We are good to be bad and to continue to build up long term. It's what we love to do, is rebuild the team. And so far, so good. We do beat the Jets, which is shocking, and we beat Calgary 8-6. So, tiebreaker, I'd have to check. I don't know offhand. Couple of injuries down in the AHL. Weaker draft class than normal. I mean, maybe compared to last year. Tied with the Avs. Yeah, it's 1993. There are ties. There are ties in this reality. Cynical, I saw when you mentioned that earlier. And seems kind of great. I still need to see Billy Talent in concert. I need to. Check their fucking touring schedule here. You were in Toronto last summer. I wasn't able to get out to that. I think they're fucking touring Europe again, though. I need them to come to Atlantic Canada, please. 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 Not anytime soon for Atlantic Canada. So there you go. I'll still be waiting. Darren McCarty was apparently roughed up. Bunny, take it easy, by the way. Thought it was an EA glitch. So it does happen sometimes that it glitches into a tie. Although I've never had that happen, like, once, I swear. But people post it all the time on, like, Reddit and Twitter. All right, Pat Falloon, 28 points in 25 games. We're here on December 1st. We are in last in our division, which is great news. But 10 wins might not be low enough to be the worst team in the league. Again, only 8 teams are in the lottery. Detroit's the best. We are bottom 5. The defending champion Bruins are struggle bussing, and the Ottawa Senators... I mean, given the fact if you go off of points percentage, we're up here. We're not out-tanking the Sens. No shot. 5 wins in 23 games. We are not out-tanking the Ottawa Senators. We'll see where we end up. We know we're not going to be a playoff team, and if we are, that's a disaster. Again, it is all about just development this year and seeing where we end up. We are still very much rooting for losses. But yeah, it looks like Ottawa's going to end up with Alfie after all. As we tie with Ottawa. We've had a terrible month here, though, which is great, actually. Yeah, we have been trash this month. Finally get a win. It's over Vancouver. Then we beat Boston. Just 2 wins that month. So January 1st of 1994. Pat Falloon, still over a point per game. He had a weaker month. Man. The Jets are not looking good. Off of points percentage, we are bottom 5. I mean, we have 5 games at hand on Washington. The Jets are terrible this year. How? With fucking Teemu Solani and you're that bad? Tampa's terrible. Ottawa's worse. Just 8 wins in 36 games for Ottawa. How's this for a sick D pairing? Pronger, and we try to get Chara 96. You, sir, have discovered my strategy before I announced it. Spoiler alert, that's the goal. You think I'm not going to try to end up with Zdeno? Come on now. And Marcus Naslund has already lost his abilities. Are you fucking kidding me, game? He's a depth forward, so we tried to play him at the NHL level so it wouldn't punish him for playing him in the AHL, and we get fucked anyway, and he's lost his abilities. He's at least still a medium elite, but fuck me, man. Are you fucking kidding? Well, what do we do then? Like, do we send these guys down after all, or is that just going to hurt their development even more? Fuck it. I mean, I got nothing to lose now. I'll just send them down. That fucking blows, though. I mean, Barahowski hasn't necessarily done a bad job, but... yeah, I'll send down Barahowski. We'll call up Todd Richards, and we'll let Barahowski do well in the AHL for the rest of the year. If I'm going to get punished for calling those guys up early, then we might as well just do it this way, right? Ralston's now a depth forward. He's lost his abilities. He wasn't even a depth forward before, and he still lost. I think I hate the way the whole development thing works in this game. I think I fucking hate it. Donnie, hello. You've joined at a lovely time where I want to punch something. But I hope you're doing well. Son of a bitch game. All right, well, let's do what we got to do to make our team worse. Although this game's doing it for me in terms of making the team worse. Fuck! It's not the end of the world, but I didn't notice he was waiver eligible. We did just lose Tom Fitzgerald, whatever. It's not the end of the world. He wasn't particularly great. That does suck, though. However, chat. However, big brain. He went to Ottawa. That might make Ottawa better. We're making our team worse. Maybe we can out-tank the Sens and fuck this game in the butt instead of it fucking me in the ass by having all my good fucking prospects lose their abilities for no goddamn reason. Big brain. There's a chance after all. So our team now moving forward, because this game sucks. Oh, it sucks. Honestly, these lines are pretty much perfect. We can just run with that. We can swap Odgers and McCarty. But aside from that, and putting Tim the Toolman on the top line, that will be the team. I'm good with it. Link Gates, still the healthy scratch. I'm good with it. Let's just make sure, because now this AHL team is going to be nuts. I'm so fucking mad it took Naslin's abilities away. That is insane. God damn it. Falloon is a beast, yeah. He was an underrated player. Well, there's no forwards that I absolutely care about. Defensively, I just need to make sure that Tamander is in. And outside of that, we can just leave that stacked AHL roster as it is. So, can't you just edit them back in? I sure could. I sure could. And I might. I might. We'll see what happens. But for now, hey, we're tanking. And we have to tank because we pretty much have no way to, like, blow it up at the deadline this year. And our team is our team. But it might give them the abilities back. I'd have to go back in the VOD and see what each of them had. But that's just the nature of the game this year is... Oops, sorry. You lost your abilities because as a depth forward, you played on the NHL roster. Make it make sense, EA. Make it make sense. I'll be here. I'll wait. I'll be here. Then again, I've been here to try and help you for a while. That hasn't worked, has it? Pat Falloon, his points have continued to drop as the season has gone on, but that's okay. That is okay. We don't want a good team. We want a developing team. And apparently I'm not going to get either. So right now we are second in the league in points, but on points percentage, oh my god, it worked! We now have fewer wins than Ottawa! The tank is back on! Don't be like, oh, Tuki, it was a mistake and you just got like... Fuck off. Okay, let me have this. This game's trying to take everything else away from me. This is clearly because they claimed our dude and put him in the minors because they're not even playing him. We might have a chance here at a top pick this year. We might. We might. Really quickly. We are going to do a stat check, yes, at least for our team. At least for the guys that we care about, which includes Ray Whitney now on 32 points, but a minus 18. And Pat Falloon with the 44 points. I got to be honest, most of the other guys, I don't really care until the end of the year. Also, Link Gates is playing center. That's probably not good. Enforcer defenseman Link Gates has been playing. Tank Commander Gates. Chris Pronger, 29 points and a minus 7, now 19 years old. Sandish Ozelin, but we are a bad team. So, goalie-wise, Irbe an 882. 437 goals against. Ronald Tugnut. A unicorn for the era. An actually good save percentage even by modern standards. Figure that one out. Let's see. Kozlov still showing up as a depth forward. Ralston has 33 goals in the AHL. Naslin's been crushing it at the AHL level. We'll see if they get their abilities back. Chris Simon. Ooh, Chris Simon's actually ready to go, you know? Let's double check that really quickly. See if we can line this up. So depth players, you're staying in the minors. This is what we've learned. Matthew Barnaby is ready to go as a fourth liner. So Rick Vive, we're going to send... actually, we're going to keep Rick Vive as a healthy scratch. Let's call up Matthew Barnaby. Left side, Chris Simon is ready to go. We'll send down... Stu Grimson has 99 fighting skill. We'll send down Berube. And then for the centers, nobody that we care about. So we got a couple of mid-season call-ups here, which should work out well. So Rick Vive and Link Gates as the scratches. So Barnaby, McCarty, Odgers. We're going to put Barnaby up on that second line. For Simon, we'll put Grimson on the fourth. Dude, we have like 5 enforcers in this lineup. It's amazing. All right. Okay. Sweet. So we're still looking good then. And then AHL-wise, look, we don't necessarily need players with abilities, but I do still need them to actually frickin' develop. Like, if you're going to rob me of golds for Marcus Naslund, at least get players to develop. At least. That's insane. Like, he didn't even have a down year. He was doing okay. But this is what it is. Need enforcers so the fans still show. Oh, you're not going to get great hockey unless Pat Falloon's on the ice, but you will see teeth flying, blood splattered, sweet, beautiful 90s violence. God damn it. Dallas Eakins gets hurt. That's unfortunate. Oh, Todd Richards also gets hurt. All right, so just before the trade deadline, only 19 wins on the year. Again, there's not much we're going to be able to do at the deadline. Falloon, a couple points under, a point per game, but he's still looking pretty good. And overall, where do we stand? The Red Wings, up there for the Presidents right now. We're fourth. We're fourth by point percentage, which isn't horrific, but it could be better. I feel like that's pretty fair to say. So it's Washington, Tampa, and then Ottawa. That hot streak they were on is over. But there is a good amount of separation between us and Edmonton. We would really have to start winning a crap load of games, and another team would have to really start screwing up for us to not finish with at least bottom 4 odds, which is nice. But we will take a look here at the deadline just to see if there's any business that can be done, even though I highly doubt it. But let's see the big names that are being dealt. Adam Crichton, Norm McIver, Dave Gagne, Kevin Hatcher. I mean, there's some names, Ray Ferraro, but obviously it's nobody that we're looking to get. There's not a team like Pittsburgh being like, fuck it, let's get rid of Lemieux, let's get rid of Yager. This isn't working, so. All right, so, and again, draft picks this year, just the first, second, and sixth at the moment. Goalie-wise. The fuck you trading for Mario Lemieux? Hey, look, I'm just saying it's not a possibility. Okay, probably at all. Also, Chris Pronger is the answer. Do we trade Urbe? Do we trade Urbe? We now have Hobby, Boulin, Carey, and Weeks in the system. Tugnut's been very good this year. Do we cash out on Urbe's minimal value? Nobody wants him. That answers the question. Does anyone want Ron Tugnut? No. Okay, I guess it's a weak goalie market this year. Defensively, shout out to Mike Rathje. He's getting better. Let's look here. Right-hand side is a bit weaker. More Berhowski, Peterson's all we have right now. Left side. Pronger, Ozelinch, Rathje. Gates, Eakin, none of these guys are worth anything. Tamander. Sikora. I mean, there's really nobody that we have to move out right now. Although, if we move out Smolik, we do have Mike Rathje coming up. This guy fights a ton. At least he did last year. He is pure defensive defenseman. If there's a market for him, we should consider it to make room for Rathje. 5th round pick. Savage, we know was bad. Kravtsov. 5th round pick looks to be going right. We could get Eric Cairns as a younger defenseman. Glenn Metro. Ooh, we do need centers. 4th round pick from Pittsburgh. I think we have a deal there from Philly. We're going to take Glenn Metropolitan and get another center into the system. So, not a major move, but one that does make sense, because obviously Pronger's going nowhere. Right wing side. Obviously, we're about to run into a logjam of who the hell is going to play where on this right side, but we're not there yet. If Odgers has any value, now's the time to cash in on it. Ullinen, Kayanik, Pelton, Rayom, Arvidsson, John Madden. I'd hate to take him away from New Jersey. But again, we need centers. Odgers for John Madden. Another good deal for us. Is that Adam Deadmarsh? It sure is, Donnie. You know what? You know I had to. You know I had to. It was a must acquire player. Just looking at the overalls, we are going to run into too many options, not enough space scenario here shortly. And we're not there yet. Kalun and players like that just don't have enough value. Left wing side, Naslin, Whitney, Kozlov is, again, almost ready. Sear, Breland, Hoagland, Simon. It's a good problem to have, though. You know, we're going to be able to work some of these guys into trades. But again, we're not being forced to do so right now. Yeah, like LePerriere, Yell, Metropolitan. I mean, we just need guys in the system. Jason Allison's at least developing. I think that's all we can really do. You know, there's no moves to make yet until we know for sure who's going to make it. So, that's it. It's a pretty quiet deadline for us. We'll see what happened around the league. But that was pretty straightforward. Any major deals? Ridley and Cote for Sam. Wow, that's actually a big deal. Again, second-round picks are super valuable in this timeline because there's only 24 teams. But Ridley and Cote for Sammy Kapanen, 2 seconds and a third. That's a big deal. And it makes Calgary better, which short-term, not great, but also is great because they might be better and kick the crap out of us and keep us with a low point total. Ulf Dahlen to Quebec for Anson Carter, I think. I think that's Anson. Second to Miller. Ulf Dahlen on the move, as if fucking Colorado / Quebec needed anybody else, by the way. Good Lord. Holy hell, Chicago drafted Eric Daze. They immediately moved him a second and 2/3 for Neil Broughton, Uwe Krupp, and Barry. So Chicago getting better. Dallas stocks up for the future. / Minnesota. Another, oh my God, Saku Koivu, who was just drafted by Philly last year, along with a second, a third, and goaltender Manny Legacy for Kevin Hatcher. And Beaupre in goal. Kevin Hatcher is that's a Philly player, all right. They said, get this soft Finn out of here. Give me one of the Hatchers. We need someone to punch faces. Saku Koivu's not going to do it. Dude, there was another deal. 2 seconds and Aaron Ward to Edmonton For Todd Elick, I think it's Brian Glynn, Brian Hayward, and a 7th. Wow. And second-round picks are fucking valuable. Oh, my God, another? Al! Oh, my. I thought it was Dominik Hasek. For a second. That is still a huge trade, though. Al Iafrate. Dude, oh, my fucking God. Al Iafrate, Scott Stevens, and Scott Niedermayer on the same team. Iafrate to New Jersey for a 2nd, a 3rd, Patrick Lalime, and another rando goalie named Hasek that's not Dominic. What the fuck? Also, Doug Evans is on waivers. I don't need you to make my team better. Let's go look at New Jersey. Because that defense is going to be disgusting. Whoops. They have injuries. That would be why they traded for Al Iafrate. Stevens and Niedermayer are both hurt. That's actually really smart of the AI, but holy hell, how long are they out for? What? Ooh, Niedermayer's out. He's been out for a while. He'll be back in a week and a half. Stevens just got hurt. Fair enough. New Jersey's AI GM actually being kind of smart. We have our own roster moves to make really quickly. So the defense is okay with who is there. It called Barahowski back up, but I don't want him there based off of what we've seen from the AI. Let's go with Randy Carlyle. Good one, Randy. Right side, Falloon via McCarty. That's all good. Nobody to call up. Young Luke could actually cook. There you go. Why do you think he still gets all those awards, even though he's past due? And then John Madden, obviously, will send down so he can play football. Okay, so not too much about our current roster changed. That's all right. Todd Richards right now is the only scratch. We'll swap Vive with Barnaby. And for the most part, everything there is okay. Pronger, Peterson, Ozelinch, Moore, Carlisle, Link, Gates. It's very nice of you to consider John Madden's future. Well, you know. And then in the AHL, we'll just leave it as is. But again, we got some prospects there, man. And a 48 overall defenseman because we have too many injuries. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. We're on pace right now to be where we want to be at the end of the season. You know, player development this year. Looks like we might have gotten EA'd a little bit. Brian Noonan. I mean, he's not bad. He's got an extra year. Let's claim him. Let's claim him. That's somebody we can flip for picks. That's fine by me. Absolutely. Tommy Albaline. That's somebody else we can flip for picks. Yep. Take him too. Take him too. Why not? Puts him in the AHL by default, so. Which is funny. Okay, we have just 3 games left of this 84-game season. We are dead last in our division. But where do we stand for top lottery odds? Shit. The Ottawa Senators are likely to finish with the top odds. We have secured top 4 odds. We won't slip lower than 4th in terms of heading into the lottery. It's just a matter of where we'll be. Okay. Still up for grabs, though. Let's see. Rooting for losses here. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs. 33-win team this year. Troy Mallet has gotten hurt. We beat the Leafs. That's not good. It's not good. 51-win Canucks. Mark Freer suffers a concussion. We're falling apart at the end of the year. Call up, I don't even want to call up Craigwell. There's an old dude that we can call up. Call up Craig Berube again. Go best lines. Lost to Vancouver, and our final game of the year is against Edmonton. It's an overtime win. So I'm going to guess it's 4th. 24-win season for the Sharks. Vancouver will play Winnipeg in round 1. LA will play Calgary. The other Western Conference matchups, it'll be Detroit and Dallas, St. Louis and Chicago in round 1. Montreal will play Boston. They turned it around and made the playoffs. Buffalo will play Quebec. And Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York again. Only this time Martin Brodeur is there, so we'll see what happens. The Pittsburgh Penguins win the President's Trophy. And for the second season in a row, we finish 4th from the bottom. Just ahead of Washington. And this time it was Tampa and the Ottawa Senators to each finish with sub 50 points. Clearly the 4 worst teams in the league. Look at the gap between us and Hartford. So top 4 odds, again, still not totally ideal, but we will deal with it. Our offense was the worst in the league again. It literally is the fault of the defense and the goaltending. It was bottom 5 this year, but Tampa, Washington, Ottawa, they were all worse, and those are the 3 teams to finish below us. Pat Falloon was our leading scorer. 30 goals, 76 points. 66 points for the now 21-year-old Ray Whitney, and then it falls off a cliff. Tim Taylor, 39 points. The veteran Vive, 38. You had 32 points for Darren McCarty. Chris Simon with 15. Matt Barnaby with 14, both in 32 games. Grimson was up there. Berube, 4 points in 53 games. Defensively, Pronger probably won't win the Calder because of that minus 13, but a very solid 49 points. 25 for Sandis Ozolinsh. Not bad for the 2 defensemen we really care about on our defense here. And for the goalies, I mean, dude, Ron Tugnut was a phenomenal backup. He was, man. Our goaltending was okay. Urbe wasn't phenomenal, but our goaltending was a bit too good. And definitely cost us. For the record, your fight leader this year, with 12, Craig Berube. Shout out to Craig. He and Stu Grimson chucking knucks, as was their job. The league leader in fights with 49. Dale Hunter. Holy shit. 2 guys with 40 fights. That's insanity, man. That is insanity. Leading the league in points, tied with 126, Steve Yzerman and Wayne Gretzky. You also had Mark Recchi, Cicerelli up there, Brindamore to round out the top 5. That must be the most fights I've ever seen, right? It's an absurd number. As you guys see just how many players finished over 100 points this year. Another solid amount. That Buffalo unit, not quite as strong as they were last year, but still very, very respectable. Your top goal scorer with 65 goals, Mario Lemieux. 1 of 5 to break 60, including Teemu Selanne, Alex Mogilny, Brett Hull, and Claude Lemieux hit 60. That's fucking insane. And you still had some guys over 50, too. Yzerman, Bure, Lindros with 52. Gretzky hit 50. Claude Hyman. Defensively, 92 points for the GOAT, Raymond Bourque. 91 for Coffey. 88 for Tom Curvers. Those 3 finishing over a point per game. Top goal scorer with 27 was Ray Bourque. You had Leach, Coffey, and Larry Murphy up there over 20. And for the goaltenders, the winningest, Tom Barrasso for the second year in a row. Kirk McLean, Ed Belfour, Mike Vernon, and Cujo, Curtis Joseph. The top 5. Shutout leaders with 5, Mike Vernon and Bill Ranford, so Alberta doing well. Save percentage king for a starter, Mike Vernon. Mike Vernon's winning the Vezina. Mike Vernon is winning the Vezina. If he doesn't, this game is more broken than you thought. Shout out to Ron Tugnut, though, man. Old Tugger's doing well. Good for him. For the rookies, Ray Whitney is not going to win it. That -9's probably going to cost him. I think they're going to give it to Jason Arnott, who did score 37 goals as a rookie. Yashim was up there, but again, the plus-minus for he and Pronger. I genuinely think it's going to go to Jason Arnott. But there is a chance it could be Ray Whitney's. Unless it goes to a rookie, in which case Osgood or Martin Brodeur would be legitimate shouts. Osgood more so than Marty. So that is the regular season of Season 2 in the books. Obviously, we have a big offseason coming up, and we are going to go through that very soon.